Globalization Unveiled, How It's Changing Our World. Hello and welcome back. In today's episode, we're diving deep into a phenomenon that's reshaped every corner of our lives, globalization. But what exactly is globalization? Let's break it down. Simply put, globalization refers to the increasing integration of economies around the world, particularly through the movements of goods, services, and capital across borders. It's about how trade and financial flows connect distant markets, turning local economies into global ones. The period we're focusing on today stretches from the late 20th century through the early 21st century. These decades were crucial. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, the rise of the Internet, and the establishment of the World Trade Organization in 1995 are just a few milestones that accelerated economic interdependence globally. These years set the stage for a world more connected than ever before. Economies across the planet began to weave together, influenced by major political changes, technological advancements, and policy reforms aimed at promoting free trade. And as these networks of trade and finance grew stronger, they started to impact not just economies, but the everyday lives of people all around the globe. From the cars they drive to the food on their tables, globalization has left its mark. Stick around as we explore how this era of globalization changed the world economy, affected cultures, and reshaped labor markets, all while posing new challenges and opportunities. Section 1. Economic Impact. Let's dive into the economic impact of globalization and see just how massive these changes have been. One of the most significant indicators, the explosion of international trade. From 1990 to 2010, world merchandise trade increased nearly fourfold. This surge wasn't just in numbers. It represented deeper connections between economies across the globe. Trade barriers came down, and with advances in technology and transportation, countries could share goods faster and more efficiently than ever. It's this period that truly globalized our marketplaces. Developing countries saw unprecedented benefits during this era. Take China and India, for example. They emerged as major global economic players, influencing everything from technology to manufacturing. Let's talk numbers. During these 2 decades, China's GDP skyrocketed, and India wasn't far behind. Their economic booms lifted millions out of poverty and created vast new middle classes. These changes transformed local economies but also had a global ripple effect. As these countries grew, they started influencing global economics, technology, and politics. Here's a closer look. As trade expanded, GDPs across developing nations increased, and poverty levels dramatically decreased. This graph shows just how significant that shift was. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. This rapid economic growth also brought challenges, some of which we're still grappling with today, like economic inequality and environmental concerns. Section 2. Technological Advancement. As we've seen, globalization transformed economies around the world. But what powered this unprecedented integration? The answer lies in technological advancement. The tech boom of the late 20th and early 21st centuries was both a component and a crucial driver of globalization. Innovations in information technology, especially the Internet and mobile technology, connected the world like never before. This timeline shows just how rapidly technology evolved. From the commercialization of the Internet in the early 90s to the rise of smartphones in the 2000s, each innovation brought the world closer together. These technologies have had a profound impact on how businesses operate. E-commerce, for instance, grew out of these technological advances. Today, you can order a product from across the world with the click of a button, fundamentally changing consumer behavior and business strategies. E-commerce platforms like Amazon and Alibaba turned local markets into global ones, allowing small businesses to access customers worldwide and large corporations to streamline their operations. The numbers are staggering. From the early 2000s to 2010, global e-commerce sales grew exponentially, reshaping not just retail, but entire economies. Experts agree that without these technological advances, globalization as we know it would not have been possible. The internet and mobile technology didn't just make the world smaller, they made it faster and more connected. And as technology continues to evolve, its role in driving globalization forward becomes even more significant. What new innovations will shape the next decade? Time will tell. Section 3. Cultural exchange. Globalization doesn't just reshape economies and technologies. It also brings cultures together in ways that were once unimaginable. Today, we're going to explore the vibrant world of cultural exchange that globalization has fostered. One of the most visible signs of this cultural mingling is found in our daily lives. From the sushi rolls in supermarkets around the world to Bollywood movies being screened globally and reggaeton music streaming internationally, our cultural consumption has never been so diverse. Consider food, for instance. Dishes that were once regional are now global staples. Whether it's Mexican tacos in Tokyo, Italian pizza in New Delhi, or Vietnamese pho in New York, each meal tells a story of cultural journey and acceptance. The same goes for music and movies. Artists like BTS, Shakira, and filmmakers from different countries are celebrated worldwide, transcending their local origins and gaining fans across the globe. Language plays a pivotal role in this exchange. English has emerged as a global lingua franca, facilitating not just business, but also cultural and educational exchanges. It's the language of international diplomacy, global business, science, and the internet. English connects people in international conferences, classrooms, and tourist spots, making it a bridge between diverse cultural landscapes. And as these cultural symbols illustrate, the exchange is not one way but a vibrant, dynamic interaction that enriches societies. This blend of cultures isn't without its challenges, including cultural appropriation and homogenization fears. Yet, the benefits, greater understanding, appreciation, and shared human experiences highlight globalization's powerful impact on broadening our cultural horizons. Section 4. Labor markets and employment. As globalization reshapes economies and cultures, it also redefines labor markets around the world. Today, we'll explore how global labor dynamics have shifted dramatically, affecting everything from job creation to migration patterns. First, let's talk about outsourcing and offshoring. These practices have become a staple of modern business strategies, driven by the pursuit of lower costs and increased efficiency. Companies in developed nations often outsource jobs to countries where labor is cheaper, significantly impacting their domestic job markets. While this has led to job losses in sectors like manufacturing in developed countries, it has also spurred significant growth in the service sectors of developing nations. Countries like India and the Philippines have become hubs for IT and customer service, providing millions of jobs that contribute to economic development. Another major aspect of globalization's impact on labor is migration. Workers move from countries with fewer job opportunities to those with labor shortages, driven by the promise of higher wages and better living conditions. This migration has profound socio-economic impacts. It addresses labor shortages in host countries and results in remittances that significantly boost the economies of the home countries. However, it also presents challenges like social integration and rights protection for migrant workers. The movement of people and jobs across borders has made the world's labor markets more interconnected than ever before. This interconnectedness brings both opportunities and challenges that require careful management and international cooperation. As experts suggest, managing these shifts effectively is crucial for sustainable economic growth and social harmony. Policies need to be adaptive and inclusive to harness the benefits of these changes while mitigating their downsides. In summary, the impact of globalization on labor markets is profound and multifaceted, influencing not just how people work, but also where they work and the quality of their lives. Section 5. Environmental impact. Globalization has not only reshaped economies and cultures, but also had a profound impact on our environment. Today, we'll delve into the environmental consequences of globalization and explore how the global community is responding. One of the most direct effects of globalization is the increase in carbon emissions. As international trade has grown, so has the need for transportation. Ships, planes, and trucks crisscross the globe, emitting significant amounts of CO2 in the process. Another major environmental issue is deforestation, often driven by the need to expand agricultural lands to meet global demand. This not only contributes to climate change, but also results in biodiversity loss and disrupts water cycles. These changes to our landscapes are stark. Vast areas of forest are cleared every year, replaced by monocultures like soy, palm oil, and cattle farming, which are less supportive of diverse ecosystems. In response to these pressing environmental issues, the international community has taken action. The Kyoto Protocol, adopted in 1997, was one of the first major agreements aimed at curbing greenhouse gases. Later, the Paris Agreement in 2015 built on these efforts, seeking to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius. Under these agreements, countries commit to reducing their carbon footprints through various measures, including renewable energy adoption, energy efficiency improvements, and sustainable practices. Efforts like these are crucial as they not only help reduce the environmental impact of globalization, but also set the stage for a more sustainable global economy. While the path forward is challenging, the ongoing international cooperation gives hope. Effective management of globalization's environmental impact is possible, but it requires commitment and action from all sectors of society. Section 6. Challenges and criticisms. While globalization has fueled growth and interconnectedness across continents, it also faces significant criticisms. Today, we're delving into the challenges and debates surrounding this complex phenomenon. First on the list is income inequality. Despite global economic growth, the benefits have not been evenly distributed. In many countries, the rich have grown richer, while the poor see little improvement in their lives. According to data from the World Bank, wealth disparity has increased in both developing and developed countries. These infographics clearly depict how the income gap has widened over the decades, posing serious social and economic challenges. Another criticism is cultural erosion. As global brands expand, local cultures can sometimes struggle to survive. From languages dying out to traditional crafts being overshadowed by mass-produced goods, the cultural landscape worldwide is changing. Local businesses often find it tough to compete with large multinational corporations. The closure of family-owned shops and the rise of international chains is a visible effect of globalization that impacts communities and economies at a local level. In response to these issues, anti-globalization movements have emerged around the world. Protesters argue that globalization contributes to environmental damage, exploits workers in developing nations, and undermines national sovereignty. These movements have been instrumental in pushing for changes, such as fair trade practices and stricter regulations on international corporations, aiming to make globalization more equitable and sustainable. The debate is ongoing, and the criticisms are a crucial part of the conversation on how we can shape a globalization that works for everyone, not just a select few. Conclusion. As we come to the end of our journey exploring globalization, let's quickly recap the key points we've covered today. We've seen how globalization has spurred incredible economic growth, linking markets in a way that enhances global trade and opens up new opportunities. Technological advances have played a pivotal role, making it easier and faster to connect across continents. We've also witnessed a vibrant exchange of cultures, bringing a richer, more diverse tapestry to our local communities. In the labor market, globalization has reshaped employment patterns worldwide, creating new job opportunities, but also challenges in adapting to these changes. And we can't overlook the environmental impact. While globalization has contributed to economic development, it has also posed significant challenges for our planet, prompting international efforts to mitigate these effects. Now, I'd love to hear from you. How has globalization affected your life? Whether it's the food you eat, the job you do, or the products you use every day, share your stories in the comments below. And if you found this discussion insightful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. We have many more topics to explore together, and your engagement helps us delve deeper into these important conversations. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to reading your thoughts and experiences with globalization. Keep questioning and keep exploring.